Hello everybody, I am Fra and welcome in this new video. Today I'm gonna show you my latest project, the map of the United States of America in Minecraft. Probably many of you know me thanks to my last creations such as the map of Europe or the Hawaii Islands in Minecraft. So I asked myself, why not make the whole United States? And here I am, a few months later. Trust me, the wait was well worth it, since this is one of the best maps I have ever made. So, the map includes all the lower 48 states of the United States, plus northern Mexico and southern Canada, and the total map size comes to be roughly 25,000 by 14,000 blocks, which is really massive. The scale is 1 to 139, which means that one in-game block, which is 1 meter by 1 meter, actually represents 239 meters in real life. I also used a different approach for the height, since if I'd use the same scale as the surface, the hills would be too flat. So this is why on the y-axis, the scale is actually 141, which gives the map this hilly feel that blends really well with the game. Now, in this exact place, we are in Los Angeles, and if any of you is from here, already can recognize some landscapes such as Hollywood Hills or Santa Monica Beach. As you can see, there are no buildings, since the map was intended to be both usable in survival mode and creative mode. Also, if I built everything all by myself, you'd be seeing this video in 2025. So the obvious choice was to give more space to you guys. So the world is perfectly playable in survival mode, as there are underground caves with doors and all that is needed to survive. Now I'm gonna show you an export of the map to give you a more accurate idea what the total map looks like from above. So this image was exported with the program Unmind, which generates a dyne map, which is very useful also for TP commands to wander around the map. As you can see, the area where we were before is this, which is a very small part in comparison with the total map. To make the world, I used satellite datasets freely accessible to the public and exported the images from those datasets with the program QGIS. For example, to get information about the hills and the plains and the mountains, I used the topography dataset SRTM by the NSA. I then matched it with the bathymetry dataset by GYPCO to have information about the seafloor, and combining it with the topography, I had the full elevation of the map. At this point, I had to gather information about the biomes and the terrain, so I took use of the ESA CCI land cover dataset and reorganized it to make it usable with Minecraft's blocks and biomes. Everything was then completed with other minor datasets such as WWF River dataset, Eurostat World Country Borders dataset, and I even included state borders using US government data. So here it is, all together. I believe that the results speak for themselves. I love doing this project and appreciate that my projects were largely recognized online, even by important websites such as Screen Run, PC Games and many other international websites. So thank you to everyone for the support. But now, let's go back to the world. Another interesting location I want to show you is the Sonora Desert in Southern California, near the border with Mexico. As you can see, the landscape is completely different. There are mountains with spruces on top of them and these endless deserts. This is the border with Mexico, and I made it to be a block-wide line of andesite, so that feels natural and gets its job done. As I mentioned before, there are even state borders, rendered in the same way. Going to another important location in California, here we are in San Francisco. Situated in the Bay Area, it's a pretty nice place to explore. As you can see, there are hills in the city, just like in the real one. Farther this way, we can see the whole Bay Area and all its surroundings. Our next stop is southern Louisiana. In this exact place, we are in New Orleans, and as you noticed, the nature is completely changed. This is one of the two main places in the map where you can find these massive swamps. It would be so cool if there had been swamp animals such as the crocs and the gators to inhabit the swamp. And this is where the Mississippi River flows into the ocean, and all the rivers are wide enough to be sailed in, so if you have a boat, you can possibly reach the Great Lakes too. This is thanks to the river dataset that I integrated into the map, which scales the river's width based on the flow. Talking about the swamps, the other important location where they are located is in southern Florida. Here in this plain is where Miami is supposed to be, with this island being Miami Beach. When we go far this way, we can find another massive swamp, the Everglades. I believe this peculiarity is due to the tropical climate in the area. But I'm not American, so of course if any of you has knowledge about all these places, you can correct. One of the most fascinating places in the United States is without any doubt the Grand Canyons. Situated between the states of Arizona and Colorado, these rock formations date back millennia and are something not seen in any other place in the world. It's the only place on the map where there is the Badlands biome, with all the colored stained clay. A very charming place. Our US trip could not continue without stopping in Washington, District of Columbia. Basically, the whole district can be seen from the top of this tree. It's pretty cool, isn't it? There's barely the space to build the Washington Monument in here, but it's still interesting that the scale allows us to see the small District of Columbia too. Continuing in the northeastern United States, here we are in another important location. Probably many of you already recognized it, but here it is, New York City. From this height, you can even recognize the shapes of the various boroughs of the city, such as Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island as well. I believe it's pretty cool that the accuracy of the map allows you to even recognize these small areas and the famous landscapes of the various locations. Continuing in the New York State, we can appreciate another famous natural location. Here we are in the Niagara Falls, near the border with Canada, one of the most beautiful falls in the world. The scale of the map even allows you to actually have this step in the river. These are the massive Niagara Falls in Minecraft. I know it's kind of funny, but actually these few blocks represent several meters of height, which is impressive. At first, I didn't even believe that they would show up in the map. The last stop in our trip is Seattle in the Washington state. Here the landscape is completely different and it kinda reminds me of Norway with all these fjords and these rocky mountains in the background. It's incredible, at least for me as an European, to understand how diverse nature is in the United States, and I really love to visit them one day. So if any of you like my map, the download is completely for free. You can find the download link in the video description. Download the zipped file and then unpack it using the password frat267youtube in your Minecraft save folder. Remember to only use the version 1.12.2, otherwise the word will not work. I will probably add other version of the map that will be compatible with newer Minecraft versions, but it requires a lot of time because it's a really time-consuming task to make them compatible with the latest versions. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my contents, please subscribe to the channel, even if I don't really post very often, but I promise that whenever I post, it's only gonna be quality content. So guys, see you in the next video.